Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday morning podcast for Monday, March 18th, 2024. My God, where the hell am I right now? 2024. Did you have a good St. Patty's Day? This seems like the longest St. Patrick's Day of recent memory, just because I was in Detroit last week and they celebrated on the 10th. So even though I was like, I know this isn't St. Patrick's Day, by them celebrating it, it was like, you know, what? Right? Anyway, I don't know what happens tonight. Somebody asked me wanted to know if I wanted to come down and do a St. Patrick's Day show tonight. It's Sunday right now, St. Patrick's Day. And I was like, absolutely not. I am not fucking going down there for that stupid ass green shit. A bunch of people that were overserved. I don't even know if that happens anymore. I have to admit, I feel like this generation is a lot more like relaxed than generations previously, because I feel like there's so many drugs that are just kind of legal that there's really no, like, you know, I got to meet my guy and I got to get this shit and we got to go off into a fucking dark corner and do it. And then we can't be too fucked up, but we want to keep our high going, so we got to sneak some of this shit in. It's like none of that stuff anymore. None of that stuff seems to happen anymore. It's just like you can fucking, you know, they got these gummies, man, and you can just like eat them and you can experiment with them at home to know like what's too, hey, you know, I'm going to go out tonight. How about 5 milligrams? I'll be relaxed, you know, a little glass of wine and then I'm done, you know? Or they're just like, you know, can cook up my own meth. I watched enough Breaking Bad, you know, take a couple of hits, lose a tooth, and then I go out, you know. Broken smile. Maybe some chick thinks I have, you know, I'm interesting, that I have a story to tell, rather than I'm just a drug abuser. You know, let's try this out. Let's see how this works. So I just don't think it's going to be like that, what I remember St. Patrick's Day to be, which was a lot of like people getting pulled over for drinking and driving, puddles of puke on the sidewalk, those green plastic, what do you call those, derby hats blowing down the alley. There's some pasty Irish chick with fucking bruised knees comes staggering out. That's the St. Patrick's Day that I remember. So anyway, I am, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm with my son today. My wife's out with my daughter. So me and my son have just been like hanging out, having like a total fucking guy day. You know, he rode his little balance bike that he calls his motorcycle. We played some drums. We played some guitar. Speaking of which, did you hear Sam Ash is going out of business? Because Sweetwater and Guitar Center are like owned by the same people. It's just every fucking thing, it goes down to that. They put out a lot of the mom and pop music stores, although I feel like those things can survive. Where when you're like a corporation, you have a bunch of locations, but you're not the corporation, you eventually get taken out or fucking bought out, whatever. But somebody just told me that, and I drove by. I did a set last night at the Comedy Store, and I had such a fucking great time. Did 2 sets down there last night, just fucking around, stupid ideas tied in with shit that I'm already working on, and I'm very excited. Very excited. Want this next special to be, you know, I want it to be my best one. I mean, why else keep doing them? Well, I don't know, Bill. Maybe then you'd have to get a fucking real job. Maybe that's what it is. So anyway, I actually got caught up, believe it or not, with all the racing. I watched both F1 races. And I watched the MotoGP race. So I am all caught up in that world. My son has been driving me and my wife nuts because, you know, he's a strong guy. And he's decided I'm done with diapers and I'm not wearing them at night. And we're like, dude, you got to wear them because it's 8 hours. We know you're potty trained, but he's just like, listen, I'm not having this, all right? Everybody else is wearing big boy and big girl underwear to bed. So am I. He wants to catch up. So occasionally, most times it works. Occasionally there's accidents. So, the other night, actually he was like sick too. So he woke up and he doesn't know how to blow his nose yet. And it was just, next thing you know, old Freckles is out in his car at like 2 a.m, half dressed, half pajamas, trying to find a 24-hour pharmacy, which I ended up finding. I ended up going into a hospital, and I asked them for what I wanted, and they're like, "There's a big fucking wall of drugs. Every color box, every fucking thing ever." And they're like, "Yeah, we don't have that." I'm looking at the wall. I'm like, "You don't have all of that shit over there? You don't have some, He had a little bit of an ear thing. So you got any eardrops or anything like that? It's like, we don't. All we have is for earwax. It's like, I feel like if I came in here and I was missing an ear, you have something on that fucking shelf that I could grow one in a Petri dish and glue it onto the side of my head so I could go to work in the morning. That's the amount of drugs you have on that wall. You don't have fucking eardrops? Isn't that basic shit? That's right up there with cough syrup. I didn't say any of that shit. I just looked at her and I just walked away, dejected. Took a big time loss. And I just found a CVS. What the hell did I end up getting? Kid something or other. I don't know what the fuck, what was it? I can't remember what it was. Like Kid NyQuil or something like that, which is sort of like, it's like the, Miller Lite of NyQuil. It's got less calories, half as much chemicals as the adult one to make you complacent and not question things. I love when people blame the government for the lack of passion out there. Like it's not really just all of these amazing inventions, that you can just fucking anywhere you want. You can just watch something. There's video of everything, I mean, the fact that I can basically Google any animal on the planet and watch it have a fight to the death with its main rival. I mean, I'll be honest with you. That's how I, when it's not football season, that's how I get through it. When I miss football, I'll just be like, what attacks an anteater? And I was so surprised, like an anteater, how it's like, that's like something if it came running at me, I'd be like, what's it going to do? Huh? Gross me out with its tongue? I didn't realize that those things have like basically, mini bear claws on each fucking foot. And I'm not talking about the donut, all right? You fat bastard. Listen to the podcast. I'm not talking about food. I'm talking to me. Oh, dude. I'll tell you right now, I am like, I'm like a dry drunk when it comes to donuts. You get me a fucking maple fucking donut, not the round one, the one shaped like a cock. That's how much a whore I am to sugar. You know what I mean? I just dunk and don't. You can't dunk them in. They're round. You want the fuck straight up and down. It goes right into the fucking coffee. Right? Does that make me gay? If it does, I don't want to be straight, honey. That and a fucking bear claw. Anytime I go in, and I just go in for the coffee when I'm back east, when I'm visiting your family back east, and I walk into a Dunkin' Donuts, and when you come walking and you see somebody sitting up at the fucking bar like a day drinker, but they're having a donut, and there's a good 4 inches of ass crack hanging out at the top of their fucking pants, you don't even need to peek around their fucking fat shoulders. You know what's in front of them. It's a fucking bear claw, It almost looks like a house, like that, like, when they hire like some weirdo painter or some shit to like design a house, and it's always round and it has to be something different so they can just show like how outside the box they're thinking. Like that's like the kind of house. Oh, that'd be fucking hilarious. Like if they commissioned them to make a house. And the person that commissioned them were overweight, so they made like a giant. The house looks like a bear claw, but not really, but like subliminally it does, and then you just put it up on stilts, and so it almost looks like a donut trophy. And then like the fat person that commissioned it, you know, would absolutely love the house, but would never quite be able to put his finger on it, his fat finger on why he loved this house until the first snow, when it gets a nice dusting and it looks like powdered sugar, and he goes, holy shit, this guy made me a bear claw donut fucking house. And I would love to call him up right now and give him a piece of my mind, but I am salivating so much right now, I have to go out and get some donuts. Then he goes out, right, with his fucking half clothes, half pajamas on. You know, when we pass each other in the night, I'm going out looking for Kid NyQuil, and he's going out looking for the first bear claw to be made the following day. We both stop at a red light, our eyes meet. There's a connection. Sorry. It's making independent film about that. Anyway, let's talk about racing here. I haven't watched F1 forever because Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes were too good, and he would just get out in front, and then I would just sit there bored out of my fucking mind watching the races. And right as I tapped out, a fella named Max Verstappen came along, and evidently he's won the last 3 years. I thought he won 2 years in a row. I didn't realize it was 3 years in a row. And I watched both races, and it's kind of more of the same. But there are things that I do like about it. Number one, whatever the fuck Hulkenberg was doing on the last race was absolutely hilarious. Running people into walls, turning his fucking steering wheel like, oh, did I do that? And then holding up 4 fucking people for his teammate. Whatever was going on there, that was fantastic. I also like the green machine / Hulk torso colored F1 car. Even though it's like really tacky, what's great about it is they're usually in the middle of the pack. So when you look at the leader grid, you can see the people right before and right after that person, and just look for that green car right as it goes out of frame, and you can see, you know, kind of how far back people in 8th and 9th position are. MotoGP is the same way with those bright yellow bikes that they have. Which, look, I would never want a motorcycle that color, but I got to tell you that whatever his name is, Francesco Di Gianantonio, whatever it is, like 15 vowels and 14 N's. Giannantonio with D-I and a space in front of it. Di Gianantonio. He was running like 8th or 9th, so I could see like how far back 8th and 9th was from the first riders or whatever. But a lot of new colors, and it was just fucking great. And I would say that MotoGP race, I'm telling you guys, that's the racing you want to watch if you're into passing and all of that. And there's this new kid out there. What the fuck is his name? Pedro Acosta, another Spaniard on a motorcycle, and 19 years old, his first MotoGP race, and he goes out there like it's still Moto2. He's not intimidated by anybody. He's tearing through the field through the first 15 laps that got him all the way up to the front 4, which was Pecca, Brad Binder, Jorge Martin, and Marc Marquez on a Ducati. And what was amazing, he was able to go through the whole field, Acosta was, and then when he got up there, you know, he was riding like a maniac, but he wasn't able to get by those guys. And not only were they able to keep him at bay, the top 4 guys were able to, not be, wearing out their tires, where the kid was just fucking burning his shit up. And it was really like this great lesson in racing and maturity and all of that. Because at one point, he went past Marc Marquez and got into 4th place. And the old Marc Marquez would not have tolerated for that shit. On the very next turn, he would try to pass back. If he didn't, the next turn, and he would have beat the fuck out of his tires. But instead, he just laid back for like 3-4 laps. And the kid ended up making a mistake, went in too hot in a turn and went wide. And then Marquez was able to go underneath him. And then right after that, Pedro's tires just went, and he went from 4th place. I think he went all the way down to like 12th. But, I mean, you can't judge somebody on one race, but he's looking like the next superstar, which is fantastic. So I loved that Marc Marquez was on a bike that didn't slide out from under him. He didn't go up and over the top and hurt himself. So, you know, judge on this one race. He's going to be competitive. Pecco was like in 4th or 5th place. I guess he didn't have a good qualifying. And right on the start of the race, he took this outside line and just took 1st place by the first turn and was out there the whole time. And I don't know. I'm really excited about that. And I've just decided, you know, I'm going to fucking go to a race this year. I'm booked the weekend when it's in Austin. And then I got, you know, another one. I wanted to go to Spain. I've always wanted to go to Spain. And, of course, when they're there, I think I'm in Arizona. But my tour wraps up in, like, June, July. And then they got some European dates out there, some fun ones. I think I might just fly over. There's one in Italy in September. I'm thinking of just saying, fuck it. Fuck it, I'm doing it. Get out the credit card, light it up, fuck this shit, bring the family, right? Everybody goes around and has a good time in Italy. I get to taste the coffee over there. And then on Sunday, I'll go to the race, you know? And I think it's a fun one to bring your wife to, because those races, there's no pit stops. There's 20, 21 laps. Super exciting. I think I'm going to do it. I keep saying that I'm going to do it. Kind of like I say every year, I'm going to go to Monaco for the F1 race, even though there's hardly any passing, especially in that one because of the city and all of that. But, you know, who doesn't want to go to Monaco with their lovely girlfriend or wife dressed in the white fucking Sean Connery, James Bond's tuxedo? Sit down and order a drink, shaken, not stirred. I mean, who the fuck doesn't want to do that? Is there anything better than just pretending you're cool? Anyway, still hacking up this fucking phlegm. I don't know. Maybe I smoked cigars too long. I have no idea. But my wife is starting to tell me, she goes, it's probably the dairy that you're putting into your coffee. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cut down on that. And then I don't. And I've been eating parfaits for breakfast lately. I don't know why. I kind of got burned out on eggs and shit. I don't know. I'm a fucking lunatic. Don't listen to me. Anyway, let's keep plowing ahead here. What else? What else have I been doing? I've been flying. Flew 3 times last week, and I'm going to fly again today. Having a great time. Just doing a bunch of shit that used to intimidate the hell out of me. Like go by an airport. Man, maybe I'll land there. Listen to the ATIS real quick. You know, see what their runway numbers are. Get on. Be able to like navigate. I mean, when you first start, enter a right downwind for runway 26, you're like, oh, no, fucking right downwind 26. And you're like freaking out, like, what am I doing? Where am I going the right way? And all of that shit. I finally got over that. One year I was out here in LA and I just decided, like, you know what? I'm going to solo into every fucking airport out here. And there's a zillion of them. That, if you don't fly, you'd have no... I mean, I lived out here for a long time without a pilot's license. I had no idea. I thought there was basically Burbank, LAX. I had heard of Santa Monica. And I thought there was like Orange County. Ontario I knew because I used to do the improv out there. That was all I knew. I just knew the big ones. But anywho, I've been doing that. I've been kind of, I don't know. Something always gives, right? So if I'm flying, then I'm not going to the gym as much, but I've been watching what the fuck I'm eating. Did I mention, Billy about town? I went to the premiere of a new show that's going to be on Apple that I highly recommend. It's a fun one to watch with your lady. I saw the premiere for Jesus Christ, Bill, spit it out. a new TV show for Apple called Palm Royale, which has like one of the sickest casts I've ever seen. It's Kristen Wiig, who's absolutely amazing in it. Carol Burnett is in it. Leslie Bibb, Allison Janney, Laura Dern, and Ricky Martin is in it. Josh Lucas, and I hope I say this right, Amber Sharday Robinson. Those are the main ones. And it's just, I don't know how to like talk about it without, I don't want to give away anything, but it's basically takes place, I think in like Miami Beach or someplace like that. I'm an idiot. I thought it took place in Palm Desert, Palm Springs. I had this whole conversation with the woman next to me going, I was actually out there, a couple weeks back. And oh, really? And I was talking about Palm Desert, Palm Springs, whatever the fuck it's called. They're both called that. They're next to each other. And then the show literally starts, and I'm looking at the ocean, and I'm like, is that the Salton Sea? That does not look like the Palm Springs I was just in. And then I was like, oh my God, they're talking about Miami. They're talking about Florida. But anyway, it's basically takes place in like the 60s. And most of the women in it are these wives of really rich guys, essentially in loveless marriages, and they're all about status and all of this stuff. And the Palm Royale is this club that, you need a recommendation to get into. And if you're not in at that club, then you're nobody. So Kristen Wiig's character is trying to get in at that club. And it's just really a really fun show. Cool clothes, the cars and all of that stuff. I was immediately in. So I think it's this Wednesday. I think that's what they said when it comes out. How about Carol Burnett, huh? In her 90s, still crushing it. And I just so happened, it was weird, like the day of that premiere, I was driving down Hollywood and Boulevard, and I saw this old theater that was all boarded up. It was the Pacific Theater. And I'm always interested in those things, There was actually a place recently that was for sale that when I was a kid, it used to be a movie theater. It had a little barber shop next to it. And I was just sitting there like, if I lived back in Massachusetts, and if I just had all the money in the world, I would have bought that and I would have just turned it back into a movie theater, put a really cool coffee shop or something next to it. Because that place, I saw like Saturday Night Fever there. I saw did I see Jaws there? They used to get them like, after they had done the runs and the big ones, then the smaller ones would get them. And you could see it for like $1 or $2 or something. And we used to go down there. It was fucking awesome. Anyway, so I see this, the Pacific Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, and it's all boarded up. And I'd never noticed it all these years of being out here. So I look it up. And, it had the usual sort of history that those things have. It was the jewel of the neighborhood, and then it fell into disarray, and then it became a porno place, and then it was, going to be knocked down. Somebody decided to save it, and then blah, 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 blah. This didn't have the porno part, but it closed in like 1994, but it's been preserved, so you can't knock it down. What do they call it? Historical whatever. But part of the history of it on Wikipedia was that Carol Burnett was an usher there. This is what it says on Wikipedia anyway, that she was an usher there. And when it was a movie theater, and this couple came walking in, and there was only like 10, 15 minutes left in the movie. So she did him a solid. Goes, hey, don't go in now. Don't go in now. You're going to ruin the ending. Just hang out. I'll let you go into the next showing, even though they bought a ticket for that one, which they shouldn't have fucking sold it to him, but they did. So her boss somehow heard her say that, and like I said, according to Wikipedia, he fired her on the spot. She had to turn in her uniform and everything. And years later, when she became a superstar and got a star on the Walk of Fame, on Hollywood Boulevard. They asked her, where do you want it? And she goes, I know exactly where. She said, right in front of the Pacific Theater. I just thought that was such a fucking, I don't know, as a comedian or whatever, it's cool to see somebody fucking, get these cunts back every once in a while. You know what I mean? That's a good line for a movie. Every once in a while, we need to get these cunts back, right? Just imagine imagine Jason Statham, who knows how to deliver those kinds of lines, right? Roy, it's about time we got even with these cunts. All right, let me do a little bit of reads here. Right, here's a caper. Sticker giant. I can't even tell you how huge stickers were when I was a kid. I hope they make a comeback. Stickers are fucking cool. Unless you own some shit that you don't want a sticker on and it's in public, because there will be stickers on it. Sticker giant. Thank you to our sponsor, Sticker Giant, bringing unmatched quality and speed to the world of custom stickers and labels. Have you ever needed to quickly brand your products or make sure your business stands out, but struggled to find the right solution? Or maybe you thought about printing custom stickers of your crazy dog or something else. Of your dog or something crazy your uncle said once. Why is it always the uncle? The guy who didn't get married? Because he's half in the bag. Which is another thing. Young people, you can be half in the bag. It's fine. It's not called being half in the bag. It's called microdosing. I'm just microdosing. I'm trying to make my brain grow. Well, now there's a Sticker Giant. Whether it's for your startup business or a special event or just for fun, these stickers and labels are the perfect fit. With their fast service and commitment to quality, you're not just making stickers or labels, you're telling a story. Did you know that Sticker Giant, based in Colorado, isn't just about crafting top quality stickers and labels? They're also the proud founders of National Sticker Day, established in 2016. And that's not all. They celebrated by creating Saul the Sticker Ball, the original Guinness Book World Record holder for the world's largest sticker ball, now weighing in at nearly 400 pounds. Saul is a true testament to Sticker Giant's passion for all things sticky and fun. Hey, that's what she said, okay? Every sticker has a story. What's yours? For listeners, you can get 25% off your first order with the code Burr, B-U-R-R, at checkout. Go to sticker.com/Burr and use the code at checkout to get your 25% off your first order. That's Sticker Giant. The fuck did I just do? That's stickergiant.com/Burr. Code Burr, B-U-R-R, for 25% off custom stickers and labels. Jesus. All right. Oh, here we go. Policy genius, everybody. Policy genius. Wouldn't it be great if there was a genius to help me with my policy? Well, welcome, Policy Genius. Make life insurance part of your financial planning this year. Start shopping now with Policy Genius to find a policy to protect your family. Getting life insurance today means you'll have peace of mind so that if something were to happen to you, Mark, look out! People have money after you're dead. Your family can cover expenses while getting back on their feet. When you're 6 feet under, you don't want your surviving family members to be not on their feet. You don't want them on the ground too. Luckily, Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies, and their teams of licensed experts is on hand to help talk you through it. Even if you already have life insurance policy through work, it may not follow you after you leave, or it might not be enough protection, right? If you leave the job, it might not follow you after you leave the job. So with Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. It's like $292. What do they give you? A fucking 10-speed and some candy bars to sell in front of a grocery store? Some options, you get $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policy Genius works for you, not the insurance companies. That means they don't have any incentive to recommend one insurer over the other, so you can trust their guidance. Policy Genius has thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found the best fit for their needs. Save time and money and provide your family with the financial safety net using Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/Bill Burr. Or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/Bill Burr. All right. Back to the podcast here. Back to the podcast. All right. So there it is right there. Okay. Okie dokie. By the way, I've been tearing it up with my little 350 Royal Enfield motorcycle, having a great time with it. This is what I fly the helicopter, land it safely, thank God, put it away, and then I take the motorcycle and I just I just sort of cruise around the airport. 30 miles an hour, the wind blowing through my non-existent hair. No, I have a helmet on. I definitely have a helmet on, and I got the gloves and half pajamas. And that's my new thing, half pajamas and a shirt. You know, it's an aesthetic. I just been doing like stops and starts, and now I'm totally used to the throttle, how much to give it, so I don't have to like walk it, which is what I was doing in the beginning, which is what I always do because I don't want to fucking dump the thing at half a mile an hour. And then there's a little hill I've just been practicing. No, I haven't practiced yet. I was gonna do it, but the fucking the guy with the hanger near the little hill was. Had it open. I was too embarrassed. I didn't want to stall in front of him. I was basically going to stop on the hill and do that thing where you got to use the back brake, roll on the throttle, let out the clutch, let out the back brake at the same time, and then go and not stall it. I feel like that's the last thing I need to learn how to do before I can ride out in traffic and get myself killed. You know? That's basically it. Here's a motorcycle question for you. Do you feel like you're safer if you're on one of those bigger bikes because they can at least see you? Having said all this, people, there's no fucking way. I can't say there's no fucking way because every time I get on it, I'm like, why don't I have my clicker, open the fence, and just drive down the street and come right back. But fortunately, there's a voice in my head that says, you have kids. But I went to Policy Genius. All right, St. Patrick's Day Massacre. All right, hey, Bill, just to clear things up. The Romans sent St. Patrick to what are now the UK territories and had him kill all the snakes. He killed all of them, all by himself? Except there are no snakes in that region, and it was really, to kill everyone who wasn't Christian. Oh my God, it was a metaphor! Is that what happened? The Druids used the sign of the serpent. There is a lot of evidence to point to the serpent being more of a noble symbol than the eagle, which sits above everything and watches all. Eagles can come down and eat the population with murder and oppression. When there's an eagle above, no land animal is safe. I think the holiday is stupid anyways, so this really solidifies it. Wow. See, this is another reason why I'm not fucking religious. You know what I mean? These fucking assholes, they talk all of that shit, but they're not walking the walk. They have no fear of an afterlife. They have no fear of being burned to death in hell. I think if you're actually a member of the royal family in England, if you're part of the Illuminati, whatever the fuck it is, when you're born into that shit, they tell you from day one. They tell you from day one that all of that shit that's in religion was just made up by people. And it's designed to keep you scared so you fucking stay in control. But there is no heaven. There is no hell. Nobody knows what the fuck there is, okay? That still has to be kind of scary, though. I would just think there was no fucking way you could possibly believe in any sort of judgmental God if you could do the shit that human beings do to one another. Like all these people that are like higher ups. You know, what's going on in the Gaza Strip, okay, from October 7th to right now. The people that did that shit have no fear of some sort of God punishing them for murdering innocent people. It's just fucking It just blows my mind. It fucking blows my mind. And then the shit that people get upset with and you can get canceled for. You know? That's a new thing in my business. Nobody got canceled. All these comics are out there doing fucking arenas. It's like, well, they're not doing movies and TV. So they got blackballed from Hollywood. Maybe, is that better? Does that work? That never happened. Classic afterwards. Oh, it wasn't that bad. But that's to go to England to kill all the snakes. There's no snakes in England? Is it just because it's too cold and rainy all the time? So how do you get rid of your rats? Right, 2 behind here, mate. 2 beans to the cabbage. All right, water. All right, good afternoon. I've really liked listening to your podcast. Well, thank you. I really like doing it. I swear we were brought up with the same type of father/mother, blue collar. Well, you know what's funny? My parents were white collar. We were just terrible with money. So we went from a white collar neighborhood when I was younger to a blue collar neighborhood, which I think is way better. I can't say I don't like white collar people. I've never lived with them, but living around blue collar people, I wouldn't have it any other way. They're just fucking funny as hell. I will say that about my hometown, like the amount of people that I grew up with that were just every bit as funny and funnier than I will ever be. They just didn't have aspirations to do what I'm doing. Like, they were fucking hilarious. The girls in my grade were fucking funny. All right, here we go. I have had to stop listening at bedtime as I can't get to sleep after your podcast. Oh, this guy's like going all in. But now there is an issue. You talked last Monday about first responders and the parade in Detroit, and as usual, I agree with your takes on things, but you started talking about the Great Lakes, and you said it was your lakes and we Canadians could pound sand. No, I know that they're half on our land, half on yours. I was just doing this so one of you fucking Canucks would write in. I think it worked. He said, I thought, okay, you can clean them up. No big deal, really. But then you got mean-spirited and started talking smack about about Stanley Cup 1993. That was not necessary or kind. All right, you're right. Maybe a wall is what we need now. Get Mexico to pay if you guys can't. So all I can say is too many men on the ice. 1979, go Habs, go. Oh, that's just how sad your franchise is, buddy. You got to go back almost 50 fucking years. That's 45 years ago. Too many men on the ice. Yeah, that's when the refs would just put you on a power play. That's how you got all them cups. Everybody knows that. Yeah, and you guys have been astoundingly average once there was more than 6 teams in. And the expansion 6 got their footing. 10 years later, you guys went bye-bye. And, yeah. But I'll tell you, you had a great season in 1979. Yeah. Okay. You guys are just, I don't know what you guys are now. You just kind of suck and nobody cares anymore. The league's too big. You don't have the influence anymore. The Russians took it over. Ovechkin is about ready to break Wayne Gretzky's records. You guys are just, do you remember Back to the Future when Marty and all of his family members were starting to fade into the dust? That's what happened. That's what's happening with Canadians in hockey right now. So you guys, you better step it up. But you didn't come up with the game anyways. I think, didn't black people invent that up in Canada? I saw that on Godfrey's podcast. So I don't know what you guys are so fucking excited about. Anyway, sorry, I'm just fucking with you. I actually love Canada. I like going through all that. I was actually thinking the other day, I haven't been to Winnipeg in forever. That's when you know you have a problem, when you miss Winnipeg, you know? I played a great theater when I was there. It was really interesting. I've played a couple of them like this that were built during segregation. In the upper deck, usually 3 levels up, there's its own staircase to go up there. Back when they couldn't possibly have people of different colors sitting next to each other. And there was one in Seattle, I think, and then one in Winnipeg that I went to. And I walked all the way up those flights of stairs just to see what that was like. And I was joking on stage. It was like, this is why we lose to them in sports. They've been doing the Stairmaster for 100 years longer than we have. We just sort of walked in. You know, maybe that's why we have flat asses, you know, and they don't. I don't know. Does it go back to the theater? Oh, God. Why do you guys listen to this podcast? Like, there's nothing. I always said nothing is research. This is all just, you know, seeing something and then sticking it with another idea that has nothing to do with each other and delivering it like it's true. Anyway, toe sucking. Oh, by the way, I was joking with somebody about this presidential election coming up, where it's Biden versus Trump again, it looks like. Is like, do you ever see when they make a sequel to some movie that absolutely sucked and it just confuses you and you're just like, they're making another one of those? Like, we're doing this again? Can't they just both leave? Can't they it's just enough. Just both of you fucking old coots, just go to a home. All right, toe sucking. Yikes. Hey, Bill, I'll get right to it. There was an argument in my office about a crazy news story. Footage of kids sucking the toes of teachers. Ah, yikes. Gross. Gross. Parentheses, yes, this is real. As part of a fundraising event the school does every year, made it to the internet. The kids' faces are blurred out, but there is certainly toe sucking. What? What in the fuck is this? I think they put whipped cream on their feet and the kids have to lick it off. Dude, this is gross. This isn't even funny. It is without a doubt disgusting and creepy. Apparently they had another one where they licked armpits too. Again, this is real. There was a video I wish I never saw. I don't understand how, like, when you know it's going to be horrific, why do you still click on it? Like that poor girl in St. Louis that got her head slammed off the ground. There was like videos. Like, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. This is something different. Oh, God, this is just beyond gross. Okay, so a guy in my office brings this up to another guy, and they're having the obvious, wow, that's weird as fuck conversation. They weren't being loud about it, just chatting on the office floor. Granted, I didn't need to hear this, and I don't talk to these guys much. They weren't really saying anything other than, that's nuts, which any sane person would agree with. Well, this lady in my office, in my office, and this other weasel dude happened to hear the whole conversation from the room around the corner and started asking them questions about their qualifications in public education. Dude, what is with these fucking rats? Now, let me guess. They went to HR and anyway, you got that right. She put these guys on the stand and asked them what their credentials were in order to establish whether or not they had the right to be having that reaction. Welcome to the modern world, Bill, where even adult toe sucking somehow needs an expert to weigh in. No. There's no way to lose that argument, and they did. They lost that argument. I would be like, so I need to be an expert to say that a teacher putting whipped cream on his toes or her toes and having a kid lick it off, I need to be an expert to say that's fucking creepy? Do you not think it's creepy, you fucking weirdo? The fuck out of here. Before I throw your tuna sandwich in the garbage. You fucking twat. Why can't, well, leave the last part off, but the other part. Anyways, the Weasel dude tried to ask how much money one of them has ever raised for anything. The guys took the bait and answered with, I volunteer at the hospitals my brother works for. Why are they answering their questions? You know, back in the day, you'd say like, I don't know, buddy, how about I take you out in the parking lot and beat the shit out of you? And that ended that. See, this is my thing. For all these years, you know, they've been coming at the frat guys, acting like they're the fucking assholes in the world. And turns out it's these fucking nerds. If you don't hang these nerds by their underwears on the doorknobs, look what the fuck they do. Then the Weasel started talking. Okay, then the Weasel started talking about inclusivity as it pertains to charity, because kids in hospitals are somehow privileged to be there because they have care. Dude, I don't have any sympathy for fucking adults that listen to this horse shit. Listen, Bill, I don't even know what we're talking about at this point. A couple average Joes wanted to comment on why toe sucking is weird, and suddenly we're in a liberal art lecture hall listening to spoiled adults over-intellectualize gross shit. Thank you. That's what should have been said. They should have said, I don't even know what we're talking about. We're just a couple average guys saying toe sucking by children on adults with whipped cream on their toes is weird. And now I feel like I'm in a liberal arts lecture hall listening to spoiled adults over-intellectualize gross shit. Get the fuck out of my face. That's what should have been done. P.S. Something I him Weasel guys because I watched him steal another guy's lunch order and lie about it. It says, P.S. I hate Weasel guy because I watch. I know, and then what do? You fucking rat him out again, and then you become like him. There's just no way around it. All right. I'm going to have to return. My son just got up from his nap. I'll be back in a second. Okay, he's just sort of sitting in the bed, laying in the bed. All right, let me try to do these last few, and then I got to stop. All right. Jam band drummers. Greeting from Pittsburgh. Last weekend, I went to see a jam band called Disco Biscuits. I was fucking amazed at how long the drummer, Alan O'Coin, I hope I said it right, was able to play at a high tempo without taking any breaks whatsoever. Is it the drugs? No, he probably has impeccable technique and is probably really relaxed. Anyways, when you watch a rock band, there are at least a few how you doing, insert city here moments in between songs, but this band didn't stop for over an hour straight. I started getting anxiety towards the end, thinking about how sore the musicians must be getting. What's the longest you've ever seen a drummer go full ham for? For you older people, that's hard as a motherfucker. What's the longest I've ever seen? I saw Tony Williams. But even he had like, if I remember, that was over almost 35 years ago when I saw him. You know, he just had peaks and valleys the way he played. It wasn't just like going nuts. Let me just think. I would say when I saw Meshuggah, and they played for almost 2 hours at insane tempos, and Tomas Hockey was just fucking, I would say that one. That was probably the one out of all that I've seen. I've seen a couple guys. I saw Simon Phillips playing with the band one time, but like those guys, what it really is though is their technique is impeccable, and they're just using the sticks doing all the work. So when you are a self-taught player, or when you're new to it and you don't have muscle memory and stuff like that, you are going to be tighter and stuff. This is just shit that I've learned over the years through taking lessons with like Dave Elich, and it's just, you know, all that stuff that they tell you. Start slow, get the pattern down, or whatever it is you're trying to play it at a tempo that you can play comfortably, and then gradually speed it up so your brain and your body can communicate, and it can do what you want it to do. But But, we all want to play it up to tempo so we can walk into Sam Ash that doesn't exist anymore and be like, look, I can fucking play, I can play Tom Sawyer, whatever the hell people used to play back in the day. Today's Tom Sawyer's a fucking douche. Bing, bing, boom, ba, 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 ba. That was like really music for like the smart burnout, I thought. You know what I mean? They always liked that music, like Tom Sawyer, because it made them feel like they read Rush. All right, dilemma. Dear Billy Twinkle Time, a leprechaun shows up at your door and tells you he's your father. Fantastic. Does it listen and acknowledge feelings? A leprechaun shows up at your door and tells you he's your father. Just kidding. All right, dilemma. Let's say you have to be the main character in a TV show, and that's your life forever. You live in the episodes and are surrounded by your co-stars. This sounds like Twilight Zone for the rest of your life. Who are you gonna be? Oh, so I have to pick a character? Oh, wow. I have to pick a character. The first one I thought was Fred Sanford, because he had that old 1950 Ford that I loved. And as much as they were broke and they had a junkyard and shit, they were eating and they were having a good time. Let me see. So that's the first one I thought of. Jim Rockford Files. I like that one. There has to be an element of like, I like the job and there's a level of freedom. I don't want to be any of the cops. Yeah, James Garner and Rockford Files, Fred Sanford, Sanford and Son. Then I got to do the third one. Oh, wait, you said a sitcom though, right? Let's see. No, you just live in the episodes. Oh, fuck, Magnum P.I. I could be, what's his face? TC flying that helicopter, although man, my back couldn't handle that after a while. Those things are not comfortable. Or I could be Magnum, riding around that Ferrari all day long, teaching chicks how to swim, which he really never did. It was just in like teaching them how to snorkel. Happy Days, you get to fucking drive around in those old cars. It could be Fonz banging all those chicks with that cool motorcycle. You only wipe out once at Arnold's. No, did he? No, he didn't. Richie wiped out. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. There is a fucking hidden racism against gingers. We're never fucking cool. We finally get on a fucking motorcycle, and what do? We wipe out, and we almost die. It's what it is. That is what it is. That's actually a really good fucking question. And I feel like I should have been more prepared for it. Cheers would have been fun. Wouldn't mind being like Normie or Cliff Clavin. They were always like day drinking. Back when I drank, that was a good time. If I was going to have a family, let's see here. What were the family ones? The Brady Bunch? No, that was too weird. I mean, in reality, they would have had all kinds of fucking problems in that house. They really would have. Like, the kids were too close in age and they weren't related. And Marsha's wearing mini skirts and Greg's saying far out. And he's playing a guitar. Like, they would have been like, and they're sharing a bathroom. It's just like, there was just going to be problems that I don't want to deal with. Discussions, stepsisters walking in on stepbrothers trying to rub one out in the joint bathroom. None of it just fucking made sense. Let's plow ahead here, all right? Let's see. Beyond that, then you had Eight is Enough. They had too many real problems. I wouldn't want to be the Waltons. I guess I didn't really like the fucking family shows. I can never relate to them. Yeah, that's what I'd be. I would be Jim Rockford Files, or I would be Fred Sanford, or whatever that last one was. That's that's the that's the best I got. That's all I got. And with that, my kid is getting up here. Baseball season's around the corner. I've been watching some of the college hoop, getting ready for March Madness. I watched Connecticut. Who the hell did they beat? Marquette or something like that. I caught the end of that game. There's probably some more good hoop on today. But having a great day with my son. He's just napping right now. We went around. We went for a walk. Underrated, going for a walk with your kid. Took a nice stroll down the street. Him just noticing all of this stuff that you just don't notice as an adult because you just know what all of it is. What's that, Dad? I'm like, that's a fire hydrant. He's like, fire hydrant. He's like, what's that for? I said, well, if there's a fire, they get water out of there or whatever. And then all of a sudden, fire hydrant. He's just pointing them all out as he goes, looking at trucks and cars. He looked at a Mercedes and he goes, Daddy, you like that car. You like that car. And I looked at it, I was like, I do like that car. This kid knows my taste. I love an old Mercedes. Who doesn't? Who fucking doesn't? All right, that is the podcast. I have, been a little in and out with watching racing over the last few years because I got tied up making old dads and trying to promote it during the strike and all of that shit. So I'm back into it this year. MotoGP I always kind of paid attention to, but I am definitely back into it this year. And I did mention that yellow motorcycle. The green car and the yellow motorcycle is how I keep track of the midfield competition, where they are in juxtaposition. Is that the right term? Compared to them. All right, I'm babbling. I'm going to go play with my son. I hope you guys have a great couple of days. Go fuck yourselves, and I'll check in on you on Thursday.